Here we are, back again with the air adventures of Jimmie Allen. The former messenger boy has returned to his home airport at Kansas City, where he is rounding out his time as a student pilot. Each day finds him in the hangar, working on his ship or in the air on a practice flight. You'll remember that Jimmie won his pilot's wings through a flying scholarship awarded him by National Airways for his excellent work in preventing the robbery of airliner number 24. Later, he and his pal, Speed Robertson, famous race pilot, broke up a gang of aerial smugglers near the Mexican border and saved their friend, Mrs. Croft, from losing a valuable piece of property. Although the gang made good their escape, Jimmie's courage and prompt action resulted in the rescue of Barbara Croft from the bandits. Today, however, Jimmie is somewhat concerned. Leaving his plane in the hangar, he has walked down to the passenger terminal just as the swift airliner roars over the field and prepares to land. The young pilot is looking for... Well, draw closer to your set and listen to what happened.
Hello, Mr. Burns. Number 10's right on time, isn't she?
Well, if it isn't Jimmie Allen in person. Yep, number 10's poking her nose down right on the dot. How have you been, Jim?
If I felt any better, they'd have me in the jug, Mr. Burns. Say, Speed Robertson's bringing in number 10. I stopped off at the dispatcher's office, and they told me.
Well, I'm not surprised. Speed always brings them in on time. You can bank your last dime on that. By the way, how are you getting along with your flying?
Why, just fine, thanks, Mr. Burns. At least I guess it's fine. Speed says that all pilots just starting out think their flying's the best in the world.
Well, that's only natural, my boy. If you don't think your work's good, no one else will.
Whoa, number 10's landing.
Back, everybody, please. Watch your step. The plane will be up here in a minute.
Speed's flying her all right. I can see him leaning out the cockpit window.
Where can I get a cab? Taxi. Right over there, sir.
Looks like a full load today, Mr. Burns. Every seat seems occupied.
Right you are, Jim. We've been running full schedules every day.
Here comes Speed now. Hi there, old fella.
Well, Jimmie, you little son of a gun, you. Haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Where you been keeping yourself?
Gee, I'm glad to see you, Speed. Oh, I've been busy building up my flying time.
That's the stuff, kid. Can't get too much of that.
Did you have a good trip?
Oh, about as usual. Hey, come along. Walk over to the pilot's locker room when I check in.
Okay, Speed.
Well, here we are. Well, Jimmie, that's my last passenger trip for a while.
What do you mean?
Well, I got to get ready for the transcontinental race. It's just a few days off, you know.
I know it. That's why I was so anxious to see you. Have you had a reply to that wire?
No, not a word, Jim. But we should hear today, or tomorrow at the latest.
Well, I guess there isn't much chance of my being accepted, is there?
Ah, come on now, come on. Don't feel so downhearted. Certainly there's a chance of your being accepted. A good chance.
But gosh, Speed, I've never been in an important race like this before. Why, they never even heard of me.
Yeah, sure. I know all about that. But you can deliver the goods, Jim. If I didn't think so, I wouldn't have recommended you so highly.
I know it, and I sure appreciate it. I just can't tell you how much I...
Oh, forget it, Jim, forget it. We haven't spent all this time training you for nothing. You can fly a high-speed ship right with the best of us.
And that Monsoon Company's a big outfit. They want a well-known race pilot. That's why they wired you.
Yeah, that's true. But some of these more experienced pilots are not always available. A number of them have ships of their own this year, like myself.
Well, all I can do is hope, and I've sure been doing that. But say, Speed, is your Bluebird ready?
Well, I'm pretty much satisfied with her. Ah, she's a great little ship, Jim. And plenty fast.
Faster than the old one, eh?
Well, I'm not putting out any public information, Jim. But I'll tell you that it's a good 50 miles an hour faster than my old racing job.
Boy, oh boy. 50 miles an hour faster. Gee, that's well over the 300-mile-an-hour mark.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's got to be. All entries for the Vanderpool Transcontinental Race have to do 300 miles an hour or over to get into the race.
That should be fast enough to win, shouldn't it, Speed? Your old Bluebird won it around 270 last year.
Yeah, but this is another year, kid. Things move fast in this air business. The boys are after me this year, Jimmie. They're out to break that record.
But I haven't heard of any ships doing much over 300.
There's going to be some powerful stuff in that Vanderpool Cup race this year. The engine manufacturers are out for blood. It means a lot, you know, to have their engine in the winning ship.
Yeah, but who else has an airplane that can touch yours?
Well, you don't hear much about them, Jim, until you get on the starting line. But you can bet your life there'll be some fast ships. Now, take that monsoon job, for example, the one we're trying to get for you to fly.
Have you heard anything more about her?
Well, I heard yesterday that she's got one of the new monsoon 800-horsepower engines in her, and that she really makes knots.
Gee, I hope I get to fly her.
Then there's this mystery ship that the Mercury people have built, especially for the race.
What's the dope on her, Speed?
Well, they call her the Mercury Mystery Ship, and she's well named. I haven't been able to get any dope so far from anyone. But one of our pilots heard that on a test flight, she easily exceeded the world's record.
That's going to be some race. But say, who's going to fly the mystery ship?
Well, that's part of the mystery, I guess, Jimmy. I've checked up on all the racing pilots I know. Can't figure out who's going to fly her. When they started construction about 6 months ago, they approached me on the matter, but I turned them down. Simply because I had my own ship.
Seems strange they don't announce the name of the pilot.
Then there are some other jobs that'll bear watching. Pilots like Bill Rutherford and Pinky Davis. They're tough to beat, kid. And they always have fast planes.
Gee, I'm almost afraid the monsoon people will accept me. Just think of racing against pilots like you and Pinky Davis and some of those other fellas.
Now, listen, kid. If you get that monsoon 800 job, you won't have to stay in anyone's prop wash. And remember now, once that starting gun is fired, all friendship ceases.
Well, I sure realize that, Speed. Believe me, if I do get a ship, though, I'm going to give her all she's got. But sure would seem funny racing against you, Speed.
Well, we all have to learn, son. You can't learn how to fly a race out of a textbook. Say, how have you been getting on with your flying lately?
I've really been putting in a lot of time, and most of it on cross countries. You know, I sure learned a lot about navigation in the last couple of 100 hours.
That's great. You know, it's the best kind of training you can get for a cross-country dash like this Vanderpool race.
The training you gave me, Speed, sure helped me a great deal. I guess navigation will count for a lot in a race like the Vanderpool.
On a long race like that, it's one of the most important factors. And that's where some pilots are weak. A fast ship doesn't do you much good if you don't stay on your course.
I can see that all right.
The ideal combination for the transcontinental race is a sturdy airplane of good design, a powerful and reliable engine, and then knowing how to navigate so you're never 100 yards off your course. A pilot with all that is going to be right up in front.
Wouldn't do to have much engine trouble in a race like that, would it?
Well, you shouldn't have any, Jim, if you have a mechanic that knows his stuff. The rules of the race make it necessary for you to carry a mechanic. So, of course, your engine will be tuned up like a fine Swiss watch.
You're taking Flash Lewis with you, aren't you?
Yeah, Flash finally agreed to go along with me. There's a great mechanic, though, Jim.
He's that all right.
He didn't like the idea of it much at first, skipping over the treetops at 300 an hour. But you know Flash. He always has to have something to gripe about.
If the monsoon people accept me, I suppose they'll furnish the mechanic.
Oh, sure. Those big engine manufacturers always have a couple of mechanics who specialize on racing engines.
Can they work on your engines at the control stops?
Oh, yeah, sure. The race time is taken from the sound of the starting gun at one control point to the split second you cross the finish line at the next control point. Then you're permitted to do anything you want to your ship, as long as it's on the starting line to go on the next hop.
But what if you're not ready?
Well, if you're not on the starting line, ready to go when the starter drops his flag, it's just too bad. Because the time counts against you anyway.
And it's up to your mechanic to see that you're always ready, eh?
That's it, exactly. In the Cup race last year, Pinky Davis burned out a bearing on his engine. And at the following night control stop, they put on a brand new engine for him. And he was ready to go the next morning.
I guess I better study up the rules of the race.
Oh, absolutely, Jim. Have every rule and regulation firmly fixed in your mind. More than one good pilot has been disqualified in a race of this kind because he violated some minor rule.
Gee, I'd hate to lose a race like that.
And if you did, it would be simply due to carelessness. And a careless pilot doesn't deserve to win a race. You study those rules, Jim. Study them carefully. You should memorize each of them because there aren't many. This is a free-for-all, you know, and you can use any type airplane with any type engine. But the few rules there are, you want to know thoroughly. And another thing, Jim, if you do get into this race, go into it to win.
I'll do that, Speed.
You'll find that most of these racing pilots are a fine bunch of boys. But every so often you'll run across a tricky bird, just like you'll find in any other business once in a while. They go into a race of this kind to win at any cost. They'll lie, cheat, and worse sometimes. But fortunately, you won't find many of them in this game.
I guess that first prize of $10,000 looks big to any pilot.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing, Jim. But once you get into a race, you forget all about that prize money. The only thing you'll have to care about is to get across that finish line first. To outguess, to outmaneuver, to outfly the other fellow. Well, I've seen some of the greatest pilots in the game giving every ounce of their energy to win a $15 first prize for some of these little air meets. It just gets into your blood.
I guess that's so, Speed. Gee, I just hope I have a chance to get in there.
Oh, just a second, Jim. We'll see who this is. Well, come in. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Robertson. Figured you'd be here. Got a telegram for you.
Oh, thanks, Tommy. Thanks. Well, Jimmy, let's see what this is all about.
Gee, I wonder if it's...
Why, Jim. Jimmie, kid. Listen. Listen to this. Your recommendation appreciated. Stop. Will follow your advice. Stop. Have Jimmie Allen report to our factory immediately, prepared to fly our airplane in Vanderpool transcontinental race. Stop. If Allen can win for us, we will give him all prize money and trophy. And Jim boy, it's signed the Monsoon Aircraft Engine Corporation.
What great news that is for Jimmie Allen. His fondest hopes have been realized. He's going to fly in the famous transcontinental race for the Vanderpool Trophy. Let's see what happens. Be sure to tune in on the next Air Adventure.
Has come to you through the facilities of the World Broadcasting System.